Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. Wow. Just hearing that line, Proverbs 20.5, it paints such a vivid picture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You immediately get this sense of like a hidden well inside you full of potential insight, but it's deep, maybe too deep to easily access.
It really does. It's quite stark.
So today we're doing one of our deep dives. We've got a pile of sources here, all focused on really breaking down the language of this single proverb. We're looking at the specific Hebrew words, how their meanings shift, to uncover what feels like a practical guide.
Almost like a mechanical process.
Exactly. Our mission is to turn these ancient words into something actionable, a model for how you can tap into that deep wisdom everyone seems to have, but few seem to use.
Yeah, and this isn't just about, getting the translation right. It feels much more like ancient psychology, packed into just a few words. If everyone has this well inside them, the big question our sources push us towards is, what specific quality does someone need? What lets one person draw out that insight when it stays hidden for, well, almost everyone else?
Okay, let's dive in. Section 1, defining this hidden resource. The first half says, counsel in the heart of man. The sources point to Belevish, in the heart of man. So the location is key.
Right. And Lev, the word for heart here, the linguistic work concerns it's not about the physical pump in your chest. Think psychological interior. It's the hidden space of your thoughts, your consciousness. So straight away, the proverb tells you, this counsel, this resource, it's internal. It's already in you.
Okay, internal. So what is this resource? The text calls it etza.
Yeah, and that word is richer than just advice in English. It's a really important wisdom term in Hebrew. Its basic meaning is around plan or consultation. But the sources suggest that here it means something more like the raw inner source of answers, the stuff that should guide what you do next.
Like your authentic direction, maybe. But it's still undeveloped.
Precisely. It's there, waiting. And it's nature. That's where the metaphor comes in. Lemim. Water.
Water. Okay, well, water. Why not, I don't know, gold hidden in a cave or something?
Good question. The sources really emphasize that water connects to two main ideas, depth and quantity. A huge amount, way down deep. Using water immediately signals how obscure this counsel might be. It's plentiful, sure, but it's fundamentally deep, hard to get to.
That sets it up perfectly. You've got the resource, etza, inside your heart, lev. There's a lot of it, like water. But now the problem. That depth makes it hard to reach.
Exactly, which leads us right into the difficulty, the obstacle itself.
So section 2, the obstacle of depth. Why is it so hard to get to?
Well, the proverb emphasizes how inaccessible it is. It uses this adjective, ʿamukkim, modifying water.
ʿamukkim, which means deep. And the sources say that the literal sense is something like bottom not visible. Is that right?
That's exactly it. Imagine looking down a well and just darkness. You can't see the bottom. It feels potentially overwhelming, maybe even a bit scary.
Okay, so physical depth.
Yeah.
How does that translate mentally?
This is where the metaphorical leap happens, and it's crucial. It shifts from physical, spatial depth, the hole you can't see the end of, to intellectual depth. The word seems specifically chosen to depict something mentally hard to grasp, not easily reached or understood. It's like ancient wisdom meeting modern psychology right there.
And the sources mention that the first use of ish, man, refers to just anyone, right? The generic person.
Correct. It applies universally. This deep hidden counsel is part of the general human condition for everyone.
So if we all have it, and it's vast, why does it stay hidden for most of us? What really keeps us from seeing the bottom of our own internal well?
That's the core problem, isn't it? That depth, that āmukkim, often represents more than just volume. It's also about the cloudiness. Think of all the stuff that gets in the way. Fear, immediate gratification, what other people think, maybe even kidding ourselves about our own motives.
Okay, so the counsel's down there, but there's like layers of sediment, emotional stuff hiding it.
Exactly. You might be staring right at it, metaphorically speaking, but you don't recognize it as counsel because of all the interference.
So the proverb's basically saying, the reason you can't get to your deepest truth isn't because you don't have it, it's because the depth makes it hard to tell apart from everything else cluttering up your insides.
You've got it. The default state for humans is for this wisdom to stay obscured, which perfectly sets the stage for the solution, the person who can access it.
Right. Section 3, the agent of extraction. This is the big shift, marked by Venus, but a man. We move from the general problem to a specific kind of person who has the solution. And it hinges on one key quality.
This is really the heart of it, the most actionable insight from our deep dive. The quality is tabuna, often just translated as understanding.
But you're saying it's more specific than just being smart.
Oh, much more specific in this context. The sources define tavuna here as something like discernment or insight. Specifically, it's the ability to distinguish and extract rightly.
Distinguish and extract.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what does that mean practically when you're dealing with that deep, murky water?
Well, think about the root of the word tavuna. It's related to the Hebrew verb ubyn, which means to separate, to distinguish between. So tavuna isn't just passive understanding, it's the active skill of drawing a line, separating the true counsel from all the noise, the fear, the wishful thinking.
Wow, okay. That changes the game. It's not about finding something new, but about filtering what's already there. How does that skill, that separation actually work?
Imagine dropping a bucket into that deep well. If you just drop it randomly, you might pull up mud, maybe some debris, maybe stagnant water near the surface. Tavuna is like having a light to shine down the well. It lets you see where the clear flowing water is deep down. It's the wisdom to know what to aim for and how to get just that. It's active intellectual sorting.
So it requires, like, really honest self-reflection, figuring out what's real guidance versus what's just internal chatter.
Exactly that. Critical self-reflection. An honest look at your own motivations. That's tavuna in action. It's the bridge between knowing the resources there and actually being able to do something about it.
You can't successfully pull up the good water unless you first discern what is the good water, separating it from the junk.
Precisely. You need that clarity first.
So if someone listening wants to cultivate this skill, tavuna, it sounds like it means really taking the time to separate signal from noise inside their own head, deliberately trying to distinguish what they want to be true from what actually is true deep down.
That's a great way to put it. And that quality, that internal separation skill, is what makes the final step possible, the action itself.
Yeah. Okay, section 4, the active process. Once you have discernment, tavuna, the proverb says, yidlena, he will draw it out. We're past the insight part now. This sounds like actual effort.
It is. The verb here is dala. Its root explicitly means to draw up, like drawing water from a well. It directly activates that water metaphor again. Think ropes, buckets, effort. This isn't passive waiting for enlightenment to strike.
So it requires you to actually do something. The counsel doesn't just magically appear.
Not at all. The discerning person, the ish tavuna, must choose to act. The counsel has to be actively hauled up. This really underscores that accessing wisdom requires your agency. You have to put in the work.
So the practical meaning shifts again, from physically drawing water to psychologically probing and extracting that inner counsel, bringing it out into the open.
Exactly. Bringing it from the hidden depths of the lev, the heart, into the light of conscious thought, where you can look at it, test it, maybe debate it, and then finally act on it.
It only becomes useful once it's surfaced.
Right. It takes both things.
Yeah.
The refined skill of tavuna to identify the true counsel, and then the active effort of yilena to bring it out.
So looking back at the whole proverb now, it maps out a clear process. You start with this vast potential counsel, deep inside everyone.
Obscured by its own depth.
But then a person who cultivates tavuna, that skill of distinction and insight.
They can see through the murkiness.
And then they commit the effort to actively draw out that specific counsel. It's like a 4-step guide to internal wisdom.
It connects everything perfectly, doesn't it? The problem, depth, the skill, discernment, the action, extraction. The ancient text gives us a practical roadmap for self-discovery.
What an incredible amount packed into one short sentence. So to recap the journey, the best counsel isn't external. It's like deep water already inside you, but it's obscured. The key to getting it isn't just wishing for it. It's cultivating tavuna, that act of discernment, the ability to separate.
Right, and that discernment then empowers the necessary action. You have to choose to draw it out, Yelena.
It's not passive.
Not at all. And that core idea of tavuna distinguishing and extracting rightly, that's the absolute essence we found today. Separating that genuine self-knowledge from all the internal static, the anxiety, the external pressures. So maybe we can leave everyone with this thought to chew on, knowing that your best, most guiding counsel is likely hidden deep inside you right now. What active practice could you start? What metaphorical rope and bucket could you use, maybe even today, to begin that process? That process of separating the true insight and bringing it up to the surface.
What's your Yiddle going to look like this week?
That's the effort the proverb points to, the effort that can change things.
Definitely something to think about as you start hauling up those hidden truths. Thanks for digging into this with us. Until next time.